welcome to this first episode of The Punchline. We are your hosts with the most, the awesome Lightning Lou, the ever charming Category 5, and of
Howdy.
course, the explosive Dynamite Daisy. So, for this episode, we're going to introduce you to ourselves, the baddest boxers on the grid. And then we have a beautiful interview with the creator of Fightality. And we're so excited for you guys to join us. So, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
How y'all doing?
First up, you all know him, you all love him, cheer for him, and I'm sure if you have a sensible understanding of Category Five's meaning, you'd probably run in fear. Kyle Stormfury.
Hello, hello.
So, first of all, give our fans a little taste of the Category 5.
Oh, geez, where to start? Um, I'm Kyle, um, otherwise known as the Category 5 in the ring. I have a RL, I have a combined total of about 8 years boxing experience. I've done everything from training to amateur boxing to training camps. Um, SL boxing, I've tried to break into before. There just really wasn't a community for it up until Fightality came around. Shit. Uh, I came to Fightality through seeing an ad for it on Primfeed of all things, which led me to HQ, which led me to Cryptic. Um, I went to the train at Cryptic, the gym, and literally a week later, I am getting booked for my first fight. And if anybody's followed my career, the rest is history.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kyle. We're happy to have you here with us on the Punchline as one of our amazing hosts.
Happy to be here. Well, opposite my side, you know him, you love him. We have the Lightning Lewis Godfeller, who I may say, the first cryptic event I've ever went to, I've seen this man fight. He was vicious then, he's still vicious now. Is he here? Is...
Yes, Kyle, I'm here. Sorry about that. Uh, I was trying to speak and my mic was muted. Don't don't judge. It's all those hits in the ring. Well, it's great to be here.
Tell me a little, tell the audience a little bit about your how you got started in the.
Well, it's kind of interesting. To be honest, it was the owner of Cryptic Arena who found me at HQ one day, and he asked if I was interested in fighting, and I was like, well, sure, why not? I've done it in real life. Let's see how it works in here. So he brought me down to the gym. I talked to one of the trainers there, and from that moment on, um, I've been a cryptic ever since. You know, um, it's been great. My record is 7-3, and I couldn't be happier.
We're happy
Okay,
to have you, bro.
welcome. We're happy to have you as one of our hosts. Now, I got a question for both of you. Since you've both mentioned that you've got RL boxing experience. How does it compare?
Oh man.
I'll let you take that one, Kyle, and then
You
I'll
know,
answer after you.
when I first started, I used to say it really didn't equate much. Like, but once you learn the HUD a little more, learning footwork is definitely key. Knowing what kind of punches to throw, that sort of thing. I mean, virtual boxing and RL boxing, obviously different beasts. Obviously, you're not going to get a black eye real life from virtual boxing unless you, I don't know, bump your head or something. But there are some similarities there.
Well, I think for me, it just came down to it's definitely not real life. I don't think it really compares. The only thing that you notice pretty much the same is the animation. Um, you know, it's I believe the best animation or the most realistic animation you could ever find. Um, and it definitely, I guess skill would be pretty much the same. You have to have skill. It's just a different kind of skill. You know, in RL you have to, your skill is what your footwork, like you said, Kyle. The ability to do counter punches well. Um, but other than that, there's really no comparison, to be honest with you.
Okay, so that's two very different comparisons, and that's good. That's what the punchline is about. We're not always gonna see eye to eye or agree. So again, welcome you two. It's great to have you both as my co-hosts
Thank you.
um, here on the punchline.
I got a question, and it can be an all-rounder. As much as what we do in the ring is kind of what brought us here, but how do you guys like to spend your time out of the ring?
Oh, jeez. Me personally, mm, I don't know. I mean, if you ask people around here, I'm pretty much, or if you ask people in the gym, I'm pretty much there most of the time. So, I mean, I don't know. How about you, Daisy?
I mean, when I'm not standing around in the gym or going a few rounds in the practice ring with you guys, um, we, Lou and I enjoy hanging out and just checking out different sims, watching movies. I like to do photography myself. Okay. Kyle, how do you like to spend your time outside of the ring?
Uh, where to start? When I'm not in the ring or training, I am usually handling the day-to-day over at the Gents Hill Airport over on the mainland. Um, Aside from that, I am an avid aviator. I fly with the Anemone wing walking team. Um, I am an avid sailor and a member of the SL's sailing community. That just scratches the surface. But for the most part, the airport handles most of my day to day. I've been gracious enough to help Mr. Luke Flywalker Fittinger with the various operations over at the airport, from helping them with um, security to um, event management to helping them out with the radio station, and as well as the SLAN podcast, which I am a producer on.
Okay, so on the left of me, I have my beautiful fiance, Daisy Morgan Fletcher, also known as Dynamite Daisy. So I'd like to know, I'm sure everyone out here would like to know, how did you get into the world of boxing?
That was quite the explosive introduction. Thanks. Um, well, actually, it was you that introduced me to boxing, Lou. Um, we had met through a mutual friend, and you brought me to the gym, and it seemed interesting. Then I saw one of your fights, and I was like, okay, that could be cool. I've always been a very competitive type person. Um, Growing up through SL, I was part of the cheerleading squad, the SL Comets. I had always done competitive teams in the schools, so I thought maybe it was time to switch gears and try up something different.
So, how do you like it so far?
It beats swinging around a pom pom. It's very well. I guess it's kind of therapeutic if you need to distress or get some anger out. It can be fun to punch other people in the face.
And and boy, do I know
You're my favorite punching bag.
that. Yeah, that's why I'm so glad this is a great outlet for you.
It's nice. It definitely it can be a lot of fun, especially around these two and at the gym in general. Everybody's a very welcoming community, and the cryptic gym itself has a lot of nice people that will basically give you the shirt off their back to help you. So anybody out there watching that's interested or tossing around the thought, definitely stop by, meet some of the other boxers or even ourselves. Um, get some more information and just come on down and have a drink and a good old time.
So, Brandon, I got a few questions for you. It's nice to have you
Hey, what's
here,
up, man?
first of all. So,
Yeah,
let
I'm
me ask
happy to
you
be here,
this.
man. You guys are doing big things, man. So, I'm really excited for you guys, and yeah, let's get it going, man.
All right, so I know we have a few questions for you. I mean, my question is really, I think everyone would like to know, what inspired you to create Vitality?
Oh man, that's a great question. So, I have been doing boxing and martial arts my entire real life since I was real young. So it's coming up on like 20 years that pretty close to 20 years that I've been doing martial arts in real life. And SL, I got to SL in 2008. The very first thing that I got into, like literally the first day that I got on SL, was boxing. Back in those days, we did push glove boxing. Um, and so, yeah, uh, again, with SL close to 20 years later as well, I decided to actually start putting the HUD together. And, that started happening in 2021. Started putting the HUD together, started, putting the plan together. Then eventually we got the HUD together. But yeah, just to answer your question, right, is I love martial arts. I love boxing. I love everything about combat sports in real life and on SL. And SL boxing is my passion. So definitely, we took that step.
Okay. I mean, because it's really been really big for SL. I mean, the boxing community is pretty big. Um, I've been doing it for a while now. So, yeah, it's one of my biggest things. But I think Kyle might have a few more questions for you.
Alrighty, so Mr. Ghost, you talk about your RL martial arts and boxing. What about your virtual career? Because I understand you are a very decorated fighter. Can you briefly describe what your career was like?
Yeah. So I got a real long career. Like I said, I started in 2008, December 2008. So I was actually living overseas at the time, and I remember for me to make the fights, because back then the fights would run about 5 or 6 p.m. SLT, and so I would literally have to wake up at about 3 in the morning just to make it to the events and get into
Man.
the tournaments and get into the sanctioned matches. Oh yeah. And so I wake up real early, uh, you know, go to those events, and I did that for almost a year until I moved back to the States. But so let's see. I went 3-0 uh, until I took my first loss. Then I was 3-1.
Mhm.
But throughout that, since 2008, I've picked up 8 world titles, 8 world titles in different organizations. 6 of them in boxing, 2 of them in MMA. Um, and I would say my golden era, like my golden years of boxing, were 2008 through 2012. In 2012, that's when I hung the gloves up for almost a decade. Um, and then I came back to SL, right? Because in 2012 I joined the military in real life, and so I was kind
For
of
your service.
in and out. Yeah, I was kind of in and out for like a decade. Whenever I would come, I would mostly just come and visit and see what's going on with the boxing world. Um, and then once my life got a little more stable, and around 2020, I started logging in more. And to be honest, I had the idea of creating Fightality. I started it truly started it in 2016, and that's when I was just writing things down. And I had a lot of things going on, so I didn't really have time to get on SL. But that's when I started really jotting things down, and you know, throughout the years around 2021, that's when we really started putting the plan together. So, but that's Vitality. But as far as my career, yeah, I've picked up 8 belts. Um, Along the way, I have almost 100 fights. I want to say I have like 80 some amount of wins. Um, yeah, that's my career.
Um, Going along with that, what would you say was your, if you can recall, your greatest loss or your biggest win? Like if you can recall any of your previous fights.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I got so many fights, dude. Well, my greatest win, I would say, was at a league called Southpaw at the time. I think this was around 2009, 2010, maybe. Um, my greatest win came in the form of a championship match versus a boxer called Jimothy Stratton. Now, back in those days, when I fought Jimothy, he was a 5-time world champion at that time. And excuse me, back in those days, we would wear um, we would wear that as a tag. So he would walk around with the 5X, world champ, over his name, and he always did that. But you know what? He deserved it. You know, he earned it. He was the man. And I got to fight him for a world title. And I beat him over 3 rounds. Or yeah, I beat him over 3 rounds by points. And yeah, and I won the belt. That was like the greatest belt that I won because it was like versus the best guy on the grid at the time. So um, being able to beat the best guy on the grid at the time, that definitely left an impression on me for the long haul. And then my greatest loss, man. You know what? My greatest loss was one thing that really actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it motivated me to even think about creating the HUD one day. Um, so one of my fights that I lost was against a guy. He was a really cool guy, by the way.
Hmm.
His name was Gabriel Bain, and real cool guy. You know, real down to earth, real humble guy. So none of this is his fault, but man, I whooped that boy from bell to bell, bro. I knocked him down 2 times in the fight. He didn't drop me one time, and the judges ended up giving him the fight, right? Because you know back in those days we had judges, and so the judges gave him the fight, and anybody that was there clearly can tell that I won that fight, right? Um, but the judges gave him the fight, and so that's one thing that really motivated me to create a system with with integrated judges to where you know um, to where there is no human error, to where there is no preferences or whatever, to where it's just facts. You win, and whoever wins wins, whoever loses loses, and again, no human error. So I would say my greatest loss was that championship loss to Gabriel. It stung me for years. Even to this day, it hurts, man. Every single one of my losses hurt. Um, but yeah, that loss for the belt,
Hmm.
uh, that loss hurt a lot, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise for sure.
For sure.
Damn, that sounds like quite the career, though.
Oh yeah.
Good
I
times.
do, I do, however, have a few more questions for you. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me.
what I just want to know, like, where do you see Vitality going in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, first of all, we're constantly working on vitality. We're constantly working on improving it. Um, where I see it going in the future, man, just to be straight up, right? Just to be completely honest, man, I see us going to the top. I see us breaking every barrier. I see us breaking, every norm that SL boxing has ever had. SL boxing started in 2007, and ever since SL boxing started, it's always been like a niche thing, something that you know only boxers are involved in. And I wanted to change that with Vitality. I mean, I wanted to bring people to be involved with boxing that don't even want to step in the ring, right? You know, obviously something really fun, really great for competitors, right? To where you get to step in the ring and compete and have your record, and it's actually a fun system, and it's actually realistic, and like a real life, like a boxing simulator. um so I see us breaking every norm that SL boxing has ever had, man. I see us going completely mainstream. I see Linden Labs backing us, because I'm not stopping. No matter what, we are going to continue to evolve Vitality and make it better, even if it's baby steps at a time. It don't matter. We will never stop.
Well, because right now I think Vitality has to be the number one system on Second Life,
Yeah, yeah.
hands down.
So before Vitality, there's been a million systems out there. There's been a bunch of systems, and I fought with all of them. I competed with all of them. Um, but before Vitality, there hasn't been a system created. There wasn't a system created in over 10 years. You know, so So yeah, Fightality is now, Fightality is now the official boxing system of the grid for sure. And with Linden Labs, for example, with Linden Labs backing up the grid games, right? Now every system in the grid games is basically, um, you know, but when I say system, I mean like all the other sports. Every sport that is part of the grid games is now technically the official sport of SL. You know what I mean? Because now we got the Lindens backing us up, so that's pretty important.
Now you're retired, right? So I was just wondering, do you have any plans of coming out of retirement? Because I'm sure there's quite a few boxers out there that would love to get you in the ring, get a shot with the creator.
Oh man, yeah, man. That's the question I get all the time, man. Look, to be completely honest with you, um, every single event that I go to that I'm not in the ring, and if ever you guys retire, you'll see what I'm talking about. And every event that I go to, I'm just like, what am I doing here in the stands? I should be in the ring. It's hard, man. As a competitor, it's very hard to not be in the ring. It's very hard to not have an active career. But the way I see it right now is, since I created the system, right, for me to hop in the ring, and try to revive my career, and because boxing is not a game. You don't play boxing. Like, this is a fight. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's different than any other sport. And if I want to be successful in boxing, I have to take it 100% serious. I have to be selfish with my career because, you know, that's just how it is when it comes to combat sports. You have to be selfish in order to have a successful career, and selfish, not in the bad way, And do I really have the time to focus on my career and be a full-time boxer again? I'm at a point right now in my career where, or in my life, I guess you could say, where my goal is to push the next generation, to be boxers and to be, the best that they can be. I think that's my number one goal, is to give people like you guys, a platform, and to be able to, provide you guys with the opportunity to be great. Then that's my main objective. Now, for me to get back in the ring, I would love to. I would love to. It's just, I think it's just a matter of time. I'll be back eventually. Will I be back tomorrow? Will I be back in 3 years from now? I don't know. That's really just the main thing. Is it's a matter of, my focus is the next generation, and if I can get back in the ring eventually, I would love to. It's just, we really just got to see.
Oh Lord, don't
Okay,
tell
so
these guys that, because let's be honest, all three of them would be like front and center in line, just waiting.
but seriously though, if you do decide to come back, who would be the one that you want to get in the ring with the most? I mean, out of anyone that's active right now, who would it be? Or
Or
even
even
not active?
retired.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe not
even
even not
retired.
active.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see. As far as names, I can't say I have any specific name in mind. I do know that a lot of people are calling me out. Um, there's been a bunch of guys, trying to get me in the ring, and I get it. I get it. As a boxer, I get it. But as far as who I would want to fight, you know, I've had this thing for like the past decade, to where, whoever asks me if I want to fight, man, I always just tell them I only do title fights. I've won 8 belts in my career. I've been doing this, um, you know, close to 20 years. So I felt for a long time, if I'm gonna get back in the ring, I have the right to demand only title fights. Um, do I really have that right? Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm a gold digger, man. If you dangle a belt in my face, dude, it's really hard for me to say no. Like, it's really hard for me to say no. But yeah, nah, man, no names, no names. I don't know. It's And that's another thing too is like I don't want to give people like a false sense of okay, I'll fight tomorrow because I just want to be honest and realistic with it, with my goals and my objectives. So yeah, and I just whenever I come back, I'll come back and we'll see how that goes.
I don't
Okay.
know. That could sound like you would be after the CBL belt if Josh keeps it or if Robert keeps it. It sounds like Brandon might be coming after it eventually when he's ready to come back.
Yeah, yeah, and see, and that's the thing too. It's like is it fair to just be able to demand the title shot, and we got all these guys chopping at the bits, and they're more deserving. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So I might when I come back, I might do a fight, and then try to state my case for a title shot. I think that'd be the most fair thing to do.
Well, I tell you what. Right now, I think we'll go to Robert, but stick around, Brandon, because we do have one last question for the both of you. So
Okay,
stick
sounds
around a
good,
little
man.
bit longer.
Hey
All right.
man, I just
So,
want to say, man, I just want to say I'm really, really proud of you guys, man, for everything you're doing in and out of the ring. You guys are doing huge things. You know, Cryptic is doing amazing. So yeah, man, I'm really proud of you guys. I love what you guys are doing, and I think you guys are extremely necessary for the sport.
well, I tell you what, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Vitality. So, we
Heck yeah.
definitely thank you for that. That is one amazing system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate those words, and again, we'll continue to evolve it, and we'll continue to make it better, and we got big plans for the future. So Um, you guys are going to be looked at, years from now as, the OGs of the Fightality era for sure.
Okay, so before you switch seats, now I have to ask, can we have a little sneak peek as to what's coming next for the Vitality HUD? Like, just a little treat. Like, what do you guys have in the works?
Oh, man. Okay, so I'll give you a little sneak peek, just a little sneak peek.
Yay!
Cause I don't want to say a whole lot. But we do got some official Vitality merch coming out. That's besides the system. That's just like the brand stuff, right? But as far as the system goes, well, let's just say weight classes may eventually become a serious part of the system.
I was wondering what those things were for on the boards, but I look forward to finding out what it does and
Yep,
anything
yep,
else that you guys come out with.
Yeah, I
yep. Let's
think
just say, yep, more
everyone's been
opportunities.
worrying about them. Everyone's been wondering
Yep.
about that. I get asked that
Oh yeah.
all the time. What is that for? Why am I a middleweight? Why am I a lightweight? I don't know.
Like, why is this scale broken? I should be, like, up in the higher range. Like, what's going on here? This isn't accurate.
I know I'm
We're
heavier than a lightweight. What's going on? Yeah, let's just say those will actually play a role sooner than later.
Well,
Definitely.
I am so happy that we got to speak to you, Brandon. It's definitely been a treat having you on.
I appreciate it, and I'm glad I came.
Heck yeah, brother. It was an honor and a privilege having you here. It was like like we said, definitely stick around. We have we have more coming up.